Okay, so before I start this section 6.2, do you still have questions on how to find the z-score and the area? Anyone from the WebEx? Do you still have questions? Or do you know how to do that? Uh-huh. Okay, so then, okay, so chapter 6, recording. Chapter 6. So now, I just want you to write whatever I'm writing here. Will be very helpful for you in the exam. Remember, this is only if you are using a calculator. Okay, so in calculator for chapter 6, okay, I'm talking only about chapter 6. So we have two things to do. One is normal CDF, which will take 4 values, that is left, right, mean, standard deviation. Okay, and second is, this is the first one, this is the second one, that is inverse norm. And this will take the area, the mean, and standard deviation. You have to remember this. Okay, now we will see how to use this. Okay, this is only if you are using a calculator. If you're finding that the finding z-scores from the formula is hard, then you can use the calculator. Okay, now that we know what formulas do we have to use, we will see how to use this. Now remember, chapter 6 is all about a normal distribution, standard normal distribution, and a normal distribution, right? Standard normal distribution. Next, what we have is normal distribution. Okay, now we'll first focus on the standard normal distribution. So here we know that the mean is always 0 and the standard deviation is 1. Okay, whereas in case of normal distribution, it can be anything. Mean is some number. Some number, and standard deviation is also some number. It could be anything. Okay. Now, what score do we have to calculate when it comes to standard normal distribution? It is z-score. Here, the score will be x score. Okay. Now, why do we use this formula? So normal CDF is used to calculate the area. This is to calculate area, or say probability, or percentile. Okay, probability. It has many names. Now, inverse norm, we use that to calculate the scores. So the score, I mean, it could be Z or X. It could be Z or X. So how do you find out which scores you have to calculate? In your question, it will be mentioned always that it is a normal distribution or whether it is a standard normal distribution. So you have to identify which scores you will be calculating depending on the question. Okay? Now, to find the area, I told you that we use normal CDF. Now, how do we have to use that? So remember, normal CDF has 4 values, that is left, right, mean, and standard deviation. Now, for now standard normal distribution, we know that mean and standard deviation is 0 and 1 always. Okay, it could be for any problem. Now, how do you identify this left and right score? For example, you have question something like this: P of Z less than A. If it is less than A means any number. Okay, if the Z score is less than A, then your your left score will always be negative 999 and your right score is the number mentioned in the question. Okay, and mean and standard deviation is always 0 and 1. You have to keep that in mind. Fine. Now, what will happen if it is greater than A? Then your left score will be the number whichever is given in the problem, and your right score will be positive 999. Okay, that's like an highest number which we can take. Fine. Now, what happens if it is between the z-score? If it is between, then your left score will be A, your right score will be B. Okay. Now, to find the area, to find the z-score, we use the formula inverse norm, right? Inverse norm. And that takes area, mean, standard deviation, which is 1. So 0 and 1 is same. It will be 0 and 1 for all the problems in case of standard normal distribution. Okay. Now, area, how do you identify the area? For example, in your question, it will be given like 25th percentile. Okay. Then area will be equal to 0.25. Area will be directly given. It could be like 25th percentile or say 20 percentile or 20%. So that will be your area. You have to convert that into a decimal format. Okay. Now, are you done writing this? Yeah. Okay. So now let's concentrate on normal distribution. To find area, same thing, we use the same formula, which is normal CDF. Okay, but only difference is mean and standard deviation will be given. It is not 0 and 1, it will be given in your problem. You have to be careful with that. Now, what about the left and right values? Now, when it comes to normal distribution, you will not have like left or right. Rather, you will have something called as lower and upper value. Okay, so you will have two numbers. You will definitely have lower value and upper value, and you can easily identify the minimum and maximum value. If it is not given, if upper value is not given, you will be considering upper value as positive 999. If it is not given. Okay, so rest and all is same. So lower and upper, mean, standard deviation, everything will be given in the problem. Now, to find the z-score, sorry, x-score. To find the x-score, we use the same formula and in the same way. It is the same thing. There is no much change when it comes to standard and normal distribution. Only difference is in the name of the scores. It is z-score and here it is x. Done? Okay. So now that we know how to do this, we have some idea. Okay. So let's continue with chapter 6.2. So in 6.1, we studied how to find the z-score and the area, right? Now here we will see using z-score or using the information given, we will see how to find out the x-score that is related to normal distribution. Okay, and we know that we have this formula. We had studied this in the previous chapter also. That is z-score is equal to x minus mean divided by standard deviation, and we used to take x as some data value, the value which was given in the data set, right? Now using the same thing, we are going to find the x and we are going to formulate this formula. Now what we have is x minus mu divided by sigma. Now to find x, keeping x in the same place, you just have to shift other things to the left side. So I get mu plus sigma z. Okay. Now this is the formula to find the x-score. Now you can also use the calculator. To use the calculator, you don't have to use this formula. You can use inverse norm. Okay. Okay. So let us do one problem here. Now this is related to x-score. So how do I know it is related to x-score? Is it because I'm doing chapter 6.2? No, it is because in your problem, it is clearly mentioned it is normally distributed. Okay, they did not say standard normal distribution, they said normally distributed, meaning you're going to find x score, or it could be area which is related only to the related to normal distribution. So first thing you do when you have questions from chapter 6 is that identifying whether it is standard normal distribution or just a normal distribution. Okay, now that we know it is a normal distribution, okay, now let's see what is given in the problem. Now what is the given? They are saying it is at least 70 inches tall, okay, that we know, and they are saying that the mean, so mean, which is equal to mu, is 63.8. Okay, now standard deviation denoted by sigma is 2.6. It is all given in the problem. Now they are asking us to find the percentage. Now remember, whenever they ask you to find a percentage or a probability, that means you will be calculating the area. So they will ask you to find the area in other terms also. Do not get confused with that. Okay. Now that we know the given values, we have the given values. Now we have two methods to do. Method 1, using the formula that is x is equal to mu plus c sigma, or calculator. So in calculator, how do you use inverse norm of the area, comma mean, and standard deviation? Okay, now we'll see how to do this using a formula. Okay, now to find the x score, it is already given, right? The x score is already given, which is 70. Okay, so 70 equal to, what is mean? 63.8 plus 2.6 into z. I don't know what is z. Now using this, I will calculate the z. Any value? How do you do this? Bring everything to the left side. 70 minus 63.8 divided by 2.6. You must be getting something around 2.8. Now that you have z-score, you can easily find the area. So this is one way of doing. If you have x-score and they are asking you to find the area, you cannot do that directly because we do not have something called as x table like we have the z tables. So what do we do is we convert the x value to the z value and then find the area. Okay, now greater than 2.38, so this area will be 0.0087. Okay, now this is one way. Easiest way is using the calculator. Now you can do this in your calculator. Now we know the area. So I did a mistake here. We are calculating the area, right? So we are supposed to use normal CDF. Lower value, upper value, and then mean, standard deviation. Okay, so open your calculator and do this. So your lower value will be 70 because it is mentioned in your question as at least 70, and that's how I know it is minimum or a lower value. Now if the upper value is not given, you have to consider it as 999. Sorry, it is 49. Okay, and mean is given, which is 63.8. Standard deviation is 2.6. What will be the area? So how do you do this? Second, was go to normal CDF, which is 2, enter. Now you're going to type the values which is mentioned in the problem. 70, comma 9 4 times, and then the mean, which is 63.8, comma 2.6. Okay, close the parenthesis and enter. Did you get the same value? Yes? Okay. Anyone from the WebEx? No. How did you get 1.1? Make sure to use the correct formula. Okay. Now, area, I got it as 0.0085, right? Now, you have to be very careful while doing this. You might lose your entire points. Okay. Now, when they say percentage, it has to be in percentage. So in your question, they might give you the same question. In options, you will have these values, 0.0085, and you also have like 8.5%. So you must make sure that you choose the percentage value, because that's what is asked in the question. Okay, make sure to use this. So here, this will be 0.85 percentage. Okay. So now, so this we have already studied. Now let us do another example. So I will leave this example to you. So this is normally distributed. Okay, normally distributed. So it is related to X score. What are they asking? They have already given you the area. That means you are supposed to calculate the X score. So what formula do we have to use? This is just a one-step problem. So use inverse norm, area, mean, and standard deviation. Standard deviation. Okay. Now area is given, which is 95%. Now remember, if it is in percentile, you have to convert that into decimal format. So whenever you enter a value to the calculator, it has to be in the decimal. Okay. So convert that into decimal. Then you already have mean given 69.5. Standard deviation is 2.4. Now tell me the answer. Second was inverse norm. Enter. Now enter the area, which is 0.95, 0.95, and mean is 69.5, and standard deviation is 2.4. Close parenthesis and enter. Did you get the same value? So inverse norm will be equal to 0.95, 69.5 to 0.4, which is 73.4. Okay. Now you can also do this using the formula 74 inches. You can use x equal to mu plus c sigma and you will get the diameter. Okay. So let's move on to example 3 and example. Okay, let's do example 3 first. So they have given you the mean, standard deviation, and the area, but that's not the direct value. I mean, they have not given the area directly. So figure out how to find the area using the given information, and then you will be done. So this is, you have to find out the X score. Student score. The given hint here is they are saying above the 90th percentile. So that means it is greater than 90th percentile, right? So whenever it is given like greater or top, above, that means you are going to subtract the given value with 1. So it is going to be 1 minus 10%, which is 0.1. Okay? Whenever you have something like this, the area is not given directly, then you have to calculate area like this, 10%, which is 0.10. Okay, this will be your area. Now you can directly give this in the calculator. It is inverse norm area 1 minus 0.10 comma mean is 505, standard deviation is 110. That gives you the X score. Now calculate and tell me what is the X score. Anyone with the answer? Right. Did you get the same answer? Okay. So 645.97, or else you can just approximate it to 647 points. Okay. So this is example 3 and example 4. You have 2 sub questions here. I also want students in the WebEx to answer these questions. It is a normal distribution. Mean is given. Standard deviation is given. Now, only thing which is varying is given in the subquestion A and B. So they are asking you to find the area. What percent? That means area, right? How long? That means it is a score. So here we are finding area. To find the area or the percentage, we use normal CDF, right? And to the normal CDF, we will be giving four values, that is lower value, 20 minutes, upper value, not given, so take it as 9 4 times, 99, and the mean is 19, standard deviation is 2. What will be the area? 0.3085. So they're asking you the percentage. So convert it into the percentage, which will be 30.85. Okay, so how do you convert that into percentage? Multiply by 100. That's it. Now, option B. You have something given as a discount, which is 3%. How long should it take? The guaranteed time limit. So definitely, if they are giving you something like a percentage, that is kind of an area. So if the area is given, you are supposed to find the X score. Okay, how do you find the X score? To find X score, inverse norm, and you have to write the area 3%, right? Now remember, they are giving you, they're saying you that it is more than 3%, so it is definitely 1 minus. Area is not given directly, so it is 1 minus 0.03, comma, or I can directly take it as 0.97, 97%, comma, the mean is how much? 19. Standard deviation is 2. Tell me this X score. 22.76. They're asking us to round up to the nearest integer, so it will be 23. Okay, so you have to be careful in that also. Now, I'll give you some problems. So this completes your chapter 6.2. That's it. So in 6.1, we learned how to calculate the z-score and the area. In chapter 6.2, we learned how to calculate the x-score and the area. Okay? Now, I will give you some problems. I want you to do that. find the probability. That means you're going to find the area. Okay, find the probability for it is between, okay, probability for z less than 1.65 So this is first one, and is to find the z-score. Okay, so I want you to calculate the probability and the z-score for the given questions. So when I say z-score, it is standard normal distribution. So for the first one, it is standard. Um, so I, yeah, yes. What is that? Okay, so while you are doing this, I want to give one more information. This is related to your MLM homework. I just want to give some hints on this. Now, if you have questions like this, you will have a picture and you have something like this. And let's say, so your shaded region or some colored region is to the right. And I have something written here, which is 90. And they might give you that your mean is 100. This is just a random information. And standard deviation might be 15. Okay. Now, if they ask you to find the area of the shaded region or some the highlighted region here, now they will not mention whether it is standard normal distribution or just a normal distribution. So how do you know whether it is normal or standard? You have to look the values here. The mean and standard deviation are not 0 and 1. Okay, so it is normal distribution. Okay, keep this in mind. If you have values for the mu and sigma, that is normal distribution. So you will have to find the X score if it is asked. Now, for example, for this problem, they're asking you to find the area. That means what is given? No. Now, I'm not writing any value here. I'm not indicating the value. So I'm supposed to find the area. That means the value of the arrow mark. Okay. So what is given then? So if you are asked to find the area, that means the given information is definitely the score. Okay. It could be X or Z. So depending on the mu and standard deviation, you have to find out whether it is X or Z. Okay. In this case, they are saying you it's a area. You have to find the area. That means this is it's a score. Okay. Now to find the area, you use normal CDF. Use the same thing, and then you can find the area. Yes, 90 would be the lower. Okay. So you have most of the problems like this in your homework, similar to the same kind. Sometimes you will have between values also. Okay, something like this. So this will be the shaded region. And for example, if your mean and standard deviation is same, then your X values is between 102 and 122. Okay, and here for the first problem, the shaded region is to the right. That means it is greater. Okay, it is greater. So greater than 90. Okay, so whenever you have something like greater, I have given you something in the notes, right? Now, if you have greater like this, you have to minus the area. So let me write that here. If greater than A, then area will be Just say top, above, most. If they use these kind of words, then you have to subtract your area with 1. Okay? And I guess that's it. So your section 6.2 is mainly on these type of questions. And you might have question like this. You might have question like you will have a shaded region. Now here they will mention it as and like this. So that means the area is given, okay? And you have to find the x. Okay, so if the value is mentioned here, that means it is a score. If a value is mentioned on the horizontal line, it is a score. You have to find the area. If an area is given, then you have to find the score. Okay, you just have to keep this in mind. It will be very easy. Fine. So that completes your section 6.2. And if you have any questions, you can meet me in the office hours. Office is located in CI 311, and your test 2 will be next week. It is on Wednesday and Thursday in the same way. So I will give you all the information about this on Friday. Okay.